Single pilot IFR is hard. I mean, let's just name it. You're going over 100 knots, in some cases 200 feet off the ground, and you can't see out the window. It's hard enough to even stay engaged in the flight, let alone on top of and ahead of what's going on. I sometimes tell folks who want to know what it's like to fly on instruments that they might imagine riding a bike with a blindfold on and a little angel on their shoulder whispering in their ear and telling them everything that's going on. The bike is leaning left. The bike is leaning right. The bike is going too fast, too slow. Here comes a turn. Every bit of information you get is old news, and you must take that information and paint a picture of what's going on. This is a challenging environment, and in this short video, I'll give you 3 practical strategies for staying ahead of the airplane, building a picture you can trust, and for managing a high workload environment. The first thing, slow the bird down. This almost always helps in any situation. Slow down. Consider how easy it is to forget slowing down and how valuable it can be. A Cessna 172S set at cruise power of say 2400 RPM can easily do 120 knots. That's 2 miles a minute. Pull the power back 400 RPM, just 400 RPM to 2000, and you're flying at 90. A 1.5 miles per minute. You just gave yourself a 25% better chance of staying ahead of the airplane. And staying in front is everything. Think about it. Nobody knows or cares if you make a mistake, as long as you correct it before you get there. That is, correct it before you actually make it. To do that, you must think in front of the airplane. In relation to a moving airplane, there are only 3 possible places you can be thinking: in front of it, with it, or behind it. And it takes more energy than you think to continually push your mind out in front of the airplane at each waypoint you cross. The scientific method. You have to be very confident of the information you're getting, painting a picture around, and acting on. You don't actually have an angel on your shoulder. You've got flight instruments, and to get certain data, such as am I going too fast or am I going the right direction, you have to look at multiple instruments, an airspeed indicator and a GPS at least, while maintaining wings level. So it's wise to think of everything in the framework of the scientific method. Everything is a hypothesis until you can prove that it's true by an independent and therefore redundant means. For example, to verify you're at the final approach fix and on glide slope, you might say to yourself, I'm on glide slope with no flags and the altitude checks, or the DME checks, or whatever the second means of identifying the final approach fix is. Get good help. Most light airplane cockpits today have an autopilot, one that is quite capable. Ubiquitous on the flight line are the KAP-140 and the GFC-700, both of which are capable of capturing and flying lateral and vertical nav signals, and flying ILS and LPV approaches right to minimums. Know how to use them. Go to the airport on a VFR day with the specific mission of learning the ins and the outs of your new friend, your new employee, the one that will likely fly the airplane from the final approach fix to very close to the missed approach point. It's foolish not to use them, and if you aren't familiar with the operation, it can get out of hand fast. For example, if you don't switch from nav to approach mode while below the glide slope or glide path, the autopilot will not intercept and follow. If you want help with vertical guidance, you must learn to arm the approach before you intercept the vertical path. You should probably have a good system for where and when that happens. So there you have 3 practical tips you can employ right away. Slow down, verify the accuracy of the information you're building on, and use all of the tools available to reduce your workload.